Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. I am absolutely delighted you found me. So, just a quick hello from Jerry. This is our three-legged cat. He's adorable, but if you hear meowing and stuff in the background, it's him, because it seems as soon as I turn on the camera, he has a need to be around, jumps on the table, jumps behind me. So I just thought we'd let him say hi. Anyways, welcome so very much to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. I am just overwhelmed. I am humbled. I am filled with gratitude for the number of new subscribers and new visitors to my site. It is brilliant and really I'm so grateful. Thank you. Okay, so this is going to be, probably a fairly quick video. I've gotten a couple of really insightful and interesting questions from my new subscribers and viewers, and so I thought that I would just jump on it and answer these as best I could. The first question is about the pendulum reading I did, and the question was asked, you said this would happen in May and it didn't. What does that mean when you're off? And the answer is this. First, it's really, really hard to get timing right. It just is. So say, for example, you're getting a reading from somebody and, they're intuitive. Okay, so whatever means they're using, cards, tarot, pendulum, whatever. And let's say you want to know if you're going to, get married, okay? And so the person who's doing the reading might get a flash. They might see, you sitting in your wedding dress, I don't know, touching up your makeup. And through the window, we can see that it's fall. It's fall. And so we say, well, I see you getting married in the fall. And then the fall comes around and it doesn't happen. And it's like, well, she was crap. And then 2 falls from now, one day you're sitting in front of your makeup mirror in your wedding dress, and you look out the window and you realize it's fall. That's one answer. Sometimes it's just so hard to get timing down pat. Secondly, you have to remember that all of us have free will. So sometimes, what you read in any medium is you're reading the most likely potential, where the energy is moving towards. But that does not mean that because we all have free will, absolutely we can change the direction. Circumstances can happen that cause us to change directions. And so that's one reason where you'll get an answer, it'll feel really strong and firm, and then it just doesn't sort of unfold. So it boils down to timing is really difficult. We all have free will and things can change. And remember, any reading is actually reading the most likely eventuality. It is reading where the energy is flowing in any precise moment in time. So hopefully that gives some clarity on the pendulum reading. The next reading I got from a really amazing subscriber was whether or not Elaine Cho and Mitch McConnell are going to end up sort of in jail, if they're actually going to pay a really significant price for the corruption that has been going on with them. So I'm going to do a quick 3 or 4 card spread, we'll see, and see if I can get a bit more clarity on that question. So let's bring this down and let's see what I can find out. Okay, so the question is, Chao and McConnell. Chao and McConnell. Chao and McConnell. Okay. Let's just see what Spirit wants to tell us. Okay, well, they're going to charge ahead in the manner that they're used to. They really believe that they are masters at manipulating the truth, avoiding the truth, or spinning the truth. And they do it brazenly, and they charge forward. They just, it's so all about them that they, in some ways, have they've almost gotten to a point where they actually don't care what anybody thinks. They just don't care. They only care about the only people who they're concerned about thinking about how that person thinks is their big donors, the corporations, the people who are absolutely going to help them. If you're not going to hand over big bucks, they're not so interested in what you have to say or think. Okay, well, this is definitely, we're definitely, okay. We are definitely looking at some really significant changes happening over this. The story isn't picking up a lot of momentum just yet, but it will, because this level of corruption is just ridiculous. And when I did that initial reading, I did say that, they were going to try and spin it and do the, nothing to see here, folks. And you know what? That's exactly what I heard them saying the other day on the television. So, and they're going to continue to try that, but it's not going to work out so well for them. They've got heartbreak coming up. And, whether they actually end up in jail at this point, I'll pull a few more cards and see, but at this point, I'm not sure, but it's definitely not good news, and it is definitely not something they are going to get away with. There is going to be a price to pay, and in fact, it may even come from big money supporters, powerful business people who say, you know what, you've crossed the line to the point where you're actually making us look bad. They're thieves, the two of them, as a couple, and individually are just flat out thieves. They will steal whatever they want. They will take whatever they want because they want it. They're not going to like the exposure. They're not going to like what it does to their reputations. But at this point, I cannot see an actual jail time for them. Part of the problem, of course, is that McConnell did a really good job flooding the courts with judges who, would be in his corner, who would condone that kind of behavior, or if not condone it, at the very least, turn a bit of a blind eye to it. So, frankly, right now, he's kind of feeling pretty cocky. He feels, and as a, so does she, they feel like they're untouchable, and that is not actually what's going to happen. They are going to be touched, but whether they're going to be touched in a way that is sort of equal to what they deserve, I'm not sure yet. So we'll have to keep our eye on that and see how the energy continues to unfold. Honestly, until the story picks up a bit more momentum and you've got a lot of people reacting, that's when it becomes a little bit easier to kind of drill down on something. But for right now, I'm going to say big trouble, a lot of heartache coming to them, both of them, and their own donors maybe pulling away from them for some of their antics. There's definitely going to be problems for them, but I, at this point, can't say yes or no to would they actually end up serving jail time. Intuitively, I kind of say I want to doubt it. I feel like, they've stacked things in such a way so that they're kind of like invincible, as horrid as that is. Okay. And the other question I want to address is one of my subscribers asked a really clever question. And it was asked on the Ivanka, Jared, and Don Jr. video. And she wanted to know if I thought that Ivanka had sort of betrayed her father and her family in order to secure her own safety or her own skin. Did she save herself? And part of the way she saved herself was to leak information or share information, either with Mueller, other investigative bodies, even newspapers. I mean, we know that she does that all the time because she releases things to newspapers and publications so that her version of the story can get released. But the question was deeper than that. The question was, has she in fact betrayed Daddy in an effort to save or secure her future? So that's a really fascinating question. So I'm going to just give these cards another couple shuffles, and we will see if we can get some more insight into that question. Okay, come on down. Okay, so Ivanka Trump, Ivanka Trump, Ivanka Trump. Well, she certainly feels like she's carrying a heck of a heavy burden. I wonder if that burden is actual knowledge. I wonder if that burden actually represents the things that she knows that aren't, on the up and up, and she's been carrying them around like, a shawl of guilt. She's definitely starting to see some things from a different perspective. She's in a holding pattern right now. And as she sits in this holding pattern, she's sort of looking around and just viewing things a little bit differently. Anybody who out there in my viewer land who is a parent recognizes that when you are the parent, especially of young children, you really become mindful of the fact that you are their example, and that you need to govern your behavior so that you're not sending the wrong message to your children or to the young children in your life. And I think that that's part kind of what motivates her. But make no mistake, because she was raised in that same sort of corrupt environment, on one level, she doesn't really see it as that wrong, I mean, she thinks it's kind of like the way business is done. And so on the one hand, while she thinks, maybe it's not great, she also doesn't exactly think it's horrible. She definitely has some sort of strength in her back corner, so she has done something with someone to secure her own safety. I'm not even convinced that she would secure Jared's safety, but hers. She wants to make sure that her and her children are going to be okay when this thing starts crumbling down. Let's see what else we can get. A lot of hard work. She's working hard to protect herself. In lots of ways, she doesn't feel like she actually knows which way to turn. She's more than aware of the fact that betraying daddy is like not a good plan of attack. But so I guess the question boils down internally for her is whether my love for my children and my family has more weight than my love for my father and what he can give me and the doors he can open for me. It's kind of pathetic that that's even a question. She has definitely exposed. She has definitely put information out there. I am not clear at this point who she's giving it to, but she is definitely one of the bright lights that was switched on to allow information that needed to go to certain people in terms of investigations. She is part of who is funneling that information forward. Yeah. Yeah. The King of Pentacles is often Trump for me, so he shows up. And certainly, again, the theft, the stealing. And in this case, it literally could be, stealing information from one place that's supposed to be confidential and releasing it to an investigation, or manipulating things so that they come out to her advantage and she doesn't really matter who she harms because, she's got her reasons and she thinks that that's all that matters. The truth will out. The truth will out. So, and she hopes it'll be enough because she sure doesn't want to lose daddy's money. Okay, and she's got the celebration card. So, yep, I believe she did. I absolutely believe that she has leaked to not only publications and news outlets, but more importantly, to investigations. If she's found out, it's going to be a ways down the road. As long as Trump's butt is sitting at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, she is going to be very careful, very self-protected, and nothing's going to get out that she frankly doesn't want it to, or at least that which she can control to the best of her ability. But once they're gone, and once people are looking at the history of, she will surface at that point. It will become known that absolutely she was playing both sides. So hopefully those are sufficient answers for you. I hope you enjoyed them. Please, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to send them in to me. I'm always delighted to read your comments. I'm loving the questions. And I just want to say once again that I really appreciate this. I'm really grateful for it. I think that's going to be all for this video. I will release another one shortly. Take care, be well, and I will see you all soon. Bye-bye.